Hi everyone. In a couple of minutes, I'll be interviewing Jason Zillo, who is the Director of Media Relations for the New York Yankees. I'm very excited to be interviewing him because he's a very busy person and I know he doesn't have a lot of time. So I just basically want to get some information from him to see how I could navigate the industry better, learn a little bit more about the industry, and see if he has any advice for me. So I'm very excited to be able to speak to him, and hopefully I gain a new contact that I can network with in the future. So, from your LinkedIn, I see that you worked with the Detroit Pistons and their community relations department before you worked for the Yankees. So, how did you know, like, you wanted to work in the sports industry?
I didn't really. I was graduating from college, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. To be honest with you, I was just looking for work, and I actually started my first internship was with the Orlando Magic, and I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I wasn't getting paid, and I figured I liked this so much.
Okay. Is there like an everyday routine for you, or is like every day like different depending on what's happening, like with the Yankees?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things that kind of, well, I mean, it depends on what time of the year, but I mean, there's some structure, and then there's other elements of the day that don't have structure because everything we do is so fluid, and there's, so many media cycles throughout the day that, things change quite frequently. I mean, the first thing I do every morning, obviously, is read all the clips that our interns provide for us. It kind of breaks down the different types of coverage that, is floating out there every morning. And then, during the season, I basically kind of have a second office down in the clubhouse, and once the clubhouse opens, 3 hours before every game, that's where I kind of situate myself and, start working through some of the interview requests or photo shoots or whatever it is, the manager availability. And then during the games, I'm in the press box with other members of my department, sorting through game notes and making announcements, and then following the game, I'm back down in the clubhouse when the media is in there. So, there's some structure, which I just gave you, and then, there's a million things that happen on the fly every day that you just you can't really prepare for. It's part of the job description.
So, when baseball season is in session, how many hours a week do you usually work?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 70 or 80, somewhere around there.
Oh my gosh, do you have a family?
I do, yeah.
Wow, that's busy.
Yeah, it's challenging.
I see. How do you feel about players having the power to send out like their own tweets, because there's like, controversy about that if they send out something negative that could, tarnish.
Yeah, I mean, sure, I have, tried and failed, as I think most people do, back when social media was emerging and Twitter and Instagram and all that other stuff, you as a PR guy, you wish they wouldn't do it. But that's not the way the world is working now, so the best, you just really have to work your butt off to try and educate them so that, you don't turn on being the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. You try and be the guardrail at the top.
That's true. How do you see the practice of like media relations or public relations changed as a result of social media?
It's a good question. I think, it's forced us in a good way to be more proactive than reactive. And, it's a unique challenge. You've got all these players who have the ability to create their own news, whether they know they're doing it or not. And, it's extremely challenging. And like I said, the trick is to try and educate them as much as you can going into it, especially in a media market like ours. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you play for the Yankees, you know, you whether you know it or not, people are following you. So,
and you're constantly under scrutiny too.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, really, it's a very unique challenge, something that, you know, PR people 10, 15, 20 years ago obviously didn't have to deal with. There were other challenges, but this wasn't one of them.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say are skills that are necessary for someone that wants to work within media relations and communications?
I mean, you know, I think face-to-face dialogue and crisis management is a key. You know, again, with all the technology, people are doing so many other things other than having conflict resolutions face-to-face. It's everything is a text or a tweet or an email.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's always going to be a need for people to have good interpersonal communications that don't involve technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lost art. You know, I see it in interns and younger people now. It's just, you know, there are so many other ways to communicate other than looking somebody in the eye and discussing something. So that's one thing. I think you got to have thick skin. You got to be able to juggle a whole bunch of balls at the same time, multitask. You know, for me, a lot of times, you know, you got to be able to prioritize like a triage. You have to treat the most critical and let the others wait. I think, yeah, I think those are some of the keys, really.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for someone like me who wants to go into like media relations? Like anything you think that I should do?
Well, it depends. I mean, media relations for a team.
Yeah, in the sports industry.
You know, I would say don't limit yourself. Be open to moving to Tennessee or Seattle or Florida or Maine if you're looking for a job. I mean, supply and demand. We get dozens of resumes every week, and you know, I mean, look, it worked for me. I'm from Ohio, and I wanted to do this, and I went to Orlando, and then I went to Detroit, and I went back down to Tampa for spring training, and you know, the more open you are to moving into different environments or climates, you know, the more chances you're going to have at getting your foot in the door.
I see. Thank you so much. So I'm done with my interview with Jason Zillo from the New York Yankees, and I'm very thankful that he called me back and we were able to speak for a little while about the sport industry and communications and media relations, because I know that he receives hundreds of phone calls and he definitely does not have time to call everyone back. So I appreciate the fact that he was able to, you know, keep in contact with me. That just goes to show you how busy the sport industry is, and someone especially at his level. So I thought it went pretty well. I learned that, you know, unpaid internships could be beneficial, even though everyone does want to get paid. But I think it was good, especially in his case, because he realized that's something that he wanted to do, and then he moved on to the next step. So that definitely gives me hope. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good interview, and he helped me out a lot, and I feel like this is someone that I could continue talking to in the future and hopefully keep as a contact, and maybe it will help me down the line when it comes to trying to hopefully get a job with the Yankees. Thank you.